Good morning, everyone. Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining me on another edition of CBT Now, right here at the CBT Automotive Network. For many salespeople, the price conversation is where the deal can get stalled, but it doesn't have to be that way. Joining us now is Gardner, who's the instructor and sales trainer at the Joe Verde Group, to walk us through 3 ways to break through on price. And Sean, this is so true that, man, when it comes to price, salespeople can sometimes go right off the rails, right? And lose it. And it's unfortunate because it doesn't, like you said, we said in the open, it doesn't have to be that way. So you've got 3 ways to get through price. Let's break them down one by one.
All right, let's set a little bit of a tone, give you a background on this, okay? We just got done with a huge workshop.
Okay.
And there's 45 salespeople in there, no managers, 45 salespeople. And we did just such a great job. They're such a great group. But look, it was a random survey. It may not be exactly true, but 45 salespeople, I asked all 45, how many of you were selling cars pre-COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Take a guess. Just take a random guess.
And you had 45 in there?
Yeah.
I'm going
total
to say 10.
3.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe not everybody raised their hand, but still, even if it's 10, Jim, okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. And here's the thing. It reminds me when I first started selling cars, okay? I loved everything about selling cars. I loved making friends with the customer. I loved building that relationship. I loved helping them pick out a car. But you know what I hated about the car business, especially early on in my career?
What's that?
The price grind.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, I thought I was kind of the only one until I got promoted and I'm working a deal. Many salespeople, when I'm working a deal, would come up to me and they would say, I hate this part.
Yeah.
They just hate the numbers part.
Well, and it's, as you know, it's a no-win situation because you're either making the customer unhappy by holding gross, or you're making the sales manager unhappy by giving any gross away. So you've got these 2 elements that you've got to go between, literally go between, and ask for a discount, and then the sales manager's upset. You're giving the car away. Or if you go back to the customer and they're like, hey, we want $3,000 off sticker price, And then the salesperson is often the one that's kind of that shock absorber between those 2 elements, right? And it is I've been there. It's a very uncomfortable position for sure.
Have you ever thought that you just hated this part? Have you ever gone up to your manager, man, we're just too far away. We're just too far away. We're just too far apart.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
They're on the wrong car.
Exactly. Right. You didn't qualify them properly.
Yeah. On top of this, if you sell your car at invoice, a lot of customers still think they paid too much.
100% of the time when you ask them after you take delivery, hey, what do you think I made on you? Oh, you still made, I know you probably made $3,000, and you're sitting there with a 0 deal, You're a mini commission.
Exactly. You're telling the customer, I only made $100, and they think you're lying.
I know. All the time.
Here we are selling a $60,000 car and made $100. The customer's like, huh?
Right.
So Joe Verde is on a mission to eliminate the price grind. That's what he's on a mission to do. Look, let me give you some examples, okay? On the lot, we get a lot of price questions on the lot. It could be on the lot or the showroom, but this whole interview is just about how to show you how easy it can be. So I'm on the lot or the showroom. The customer asks just a simple price question like, what's the price on this car? You tell me, Jim, if the customer says, what's the price on this car? Should I, as the salesperson, get immediately price focused? Should I say, well, what price range are you looking to stay in? Okay. or don't worry about our prices. We've never lost a deal because of price. That's getting too price focused so early on in the selling process.
Yeah.
The selling process, I'm there to make friends, find what it needs, pick out the perfect car, give that customer a world-class presentation demonstration. And if I get too price-focused early on, it can interfere big time with that. So let me show you how easy it can be. Customer says, what's the price on this car? That was just over 60. Speaking of price now, were you wanting to go with a hybrid or are you thinking more gas? Okay. And did you want cloth or leather? I say, all right, stop right there. So yes, I'm telling them the price. It says it on on the window sticker. But you know what? I'm not going to get stuck on it. I'm going to, because it was just a question. You know, Joe talks about this, how if you just have one positive, confident first response, you could set aside 90% of the price concerns that a customer has early on in the selling process.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, just to give you another example, maybe they're looking at trucks. What are the rebates on the trucks right now? Oh, the rebates are great. Of course, it does depend on the exact truck you pick out.
Yeah.
I mean, were you thinking more four-wheel drive or two-wheel? Okay. And did you want the long bed or short bed?
Divert it.
Yeah. Well, divert, yes. But I like to say you're just gently setting it aside.
Right. And moving on with the sales process.
Yeah, so you don't get stuck on price. But also, if you're watching this as a salesperson, so that you can do what you do best, which is making friends, building relationships, helping the customer, pick out that perfect car. If you learn to set aside early price questions, you'll be able to do what you love to do about the car business, and it won't be such a price grind.
That's right. Present the vehicle. Stick to the features and benefits of that vehicle.
Yes. But then, all right, now let's fast forward and talk about, what about when you're closing? How do you work through price when you're closing? Okay, well, first of all, when you're closing, you know, when you're getting to the customer to the point, they seem to love you, they love the car, they're comfortable in your store, they had a great presentation, demonstration, you're getting to the point where you're writing them up.
Yeah.
That's what we would call kind of the closing process. We need to get better at that closing process. But what if a customer brings back price? What if they say, listen, we just want to know your best price. We've been moving a little too fast, in our opinion. We just, can you go find out what the price is on this car? Because it will come up again. If you set it aside early on in the lot, it's going to come back up when you close.
Or maybe one of the better ones where they go, look, I'm not going to hold you to it. Can you give me an idea of what we can expect to get off on this vehicle? But I won't hold you to it.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
You know what they're asking for there when they ask that? They're asking for a shopping number.
Yeah, that's right.
Joe talked about how 96% of all customers that you ballpark what they think is your best number, they're going to take it and go shop.
Of course.
And you're not going to see most of these customers back. But look, so when price comes up when you're closing, I got two options again for you. Should I say, well, what would you be willing to pay? What would it take to earn your business? Or should I try to make it easier to handle?
Make it easier to handle.
Yeah. So if a guy goes, well, what do you think they can do on the car? And I get that, Bob. It sounds like you're like most of us. It just sounds like you're working with a budget. Is that right? Okay. So main thing, you do like the car though, don't you? Okay. So other than fitting it in your budget, would there be any other reason why we couldn't send you home in it now? Bob, you let me worry about that. You want a cup of coffee, something cold to drink while we start this paperwork? All right, stop. So he objected to the price. He's saying the price is too high. But we changed the focus from price to budget, which, by the way, Jim, is very consistent with how most customers pay for their vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm making a payment on my truck. It's a fact. 90% of all customers make a payment on their vehicle to someone, whether it be Ford Motor Credit, Honda, whether it be Toyota Motor Credit, or Toyota Financial Services. I think that's their name now. Mazda finances car. Why do you think they have 0% and special rates and all this going on and special lease rates? Because they know most customers make payments.
That's right. That's right.
So why not rephrase, Joe calls it rephrasing, or change the focus of a price objection to what's consistent with how they're going to actually pay for the car. And you know what you're going to be able to do? You're going to be able to set up a customer-friendly, more budget-focused negotiations, making it easier for the customer to buy. Let me walk you through this one more time. Just in case you're taking notes, you should take notes on this. So you're closing, customer says the price is too high, go find out what you can sell it for. And I get that, Bob. It just sounds like you're like most of us. It just sounds like you're working with a budget. Is that right? Main thing, you like the car, though, don't you? Okay. So other than fitting the car that you guys like within your budget, would there be any other reason why we couldn't send you home in it now? Mm-hmm. So look, you change it to budget, and then you close based on the word budget, not price.
That's
setting
right.
up that customer-friendly, budget-focused negotiations.
I love it. I love it. You're closing them. You're closing them with their own terminology.
Yeah. In this class I just did, a lot of the salespeople were taught that if the customer objects to the price, close them on the price. So The customer goes, well, what do you think they can do on the price? Well, I mean, what would we have to do? I mean, what are you guys thinking? How low would we have to go? And see, they're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into price, which is going to make that sale tougher and tougher and tougher. Okay.
Yep.
Some of the vehicles, like I'm trying to think, like a base Corolla, they don't have enough markup in them to even drop the price.
Not at all.
Right. Some of the Corollas or some of the EV vehicles that we're trying to do a big push on right now because of the incentive, the tax incentive that's out there, they don't have any markup in them at all. You sell it for sticker, and it's still a mini deal, right?
That's right.
If making price easier to handle, Jim, look, not only is going to set your deal up better and give you a chance to make more money, it's going to help you close more sales, and it's going to make it easier for the customer to buy, and your CSI is going to be through the roof.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what's important. Okay, so check it out. So far, we've talked about how to set aside price early on in the selling process, and then when you're closing, we're going to change price to the budget, close on the word budget, and then set up that budget-friendly negotiation. But then let's talk about when we're working the deal, how you handle price. This is critical. And I bet you, how long did you sell cars for, Jim?
I sold cars for about 2.5 years, and then I was promoted into F&I.
That man, just like me. I wish someone would have told me this when I first started selling cars. When you present the numbers, when you're reviewing numbers, if the customer says, you're not discounting your car any, we want to know your best price, okay? All you have to do is this. You build value in that number, okay? You build value in the number, and then you move along. You have to be the initiator in moving along with the negotiations, okay? You can't get stuck on price. Like, for example, customers like, can you do any better on the price? Well, Bob, like I said a little bit earlier, right now the RAV Hybrid Limited, it's just tough to keep on the lot. Yeah. How do you feel about the 7,500 down? Okay. And you know what? It's not even a requirement. It's just the more you put down, it could be a better deal for you. That's all. Okay, stop. That's all I'm going to do right now because this is a short interview. But do you see, I built value in the number.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to talk about something else.
Yep.
Okay? Because I know we can't discount this car one penny. All right? And why even give the customer hope? You know what? Check this out. We talk about this at our closing clinic. If you build value in the number and then they don't bring it up again, what does that mean?
You don't have a price issue.
Their silence on this is their consent.
That's right.
My mistake when you were new, check it out. We would make so many mistakes like, are you okay with the price? Is this okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not building value in it. Right. We're asking if it's okay, and they're going to go.
Or often I found myself apologizing for the small discount that the manager gave us. Yes. I know it's not what you were looking for. I'm so sorry about that. You were looking for $2,000 off. We can only go $250. I'm really sorry. And I spent more time on that, because I had the empathy for the customer that they're not getting what they wanted, that I would be tripping over myself apologizing for what the manager gave in the way of a discount. Not a good look.
And on top of that, as soon as you start apologizing, they're very nice, but then they say, it's okay, Jim, we just need to shop around more.
Yeah, of course.
So you're turning a buyer into a shopper.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So you got to build value in the number.
Yep.
And then just move on with the negotiations. I want to give you one more example of that. The customer says, well, still, it seems too high. Okay. And I get that, Bob. It sounds like it might be a little bit more than you plan on spending.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's why you should do it. This has got the all-wheel drive. It's going to get you the great gas mileage. You both said silver was your favorite color. You guys are going to love the interior trim. You know what? You might keep this car forever. I mean, it sounds like there might be a little bit of concern with the $7,500 down and the $875 a month. Well, first of all, this is short-term financing, okay? And see, I built value, and then you move on in the negotiate. Let them win somewhere else. There's so many different ways we can make a customer happy,
right,
without having to drop price.
That's right. That's right. It's really, they say price is a state of mind, and it's oh so true in car sales, right?
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, okay? So look. You got to set price aside early on. That was just over 60. Speaking of price, were you thinking gas or hybrid? when you're closing, when you're getting to the write-up and they're objecting to the price. And I get that, Bob. Sounds like you guys are like most of us. You're just on a budget. You're setting up that customer-friendly, budget-focused negotiations. And then, Jim, when you're showing numbers, okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. We're giving salespeople in this video, Joe wanted to give salespeople life skills to succeed in the car business and get back to doing what they enjoy most, which is, like I started with, just having fun with customers, making friends, building relationships, helping pick out that car, get back to what we love about the car business and eliminate that price grind. And if they just work on those 3 ways
That's right.
to handle price, their job's going to be so much easier, Jim. They're going to win more sales and make more money.
No question about it. Sean Gardner, instructor and sales trainer at the Joe Verde Group. This is exactly why we love having you come in. I know that our sales teams that are watching and managers that are watching across the country will certainly appreciate your presentation today. And so, guys, go out and make a whole bunch of money. You know, these are the kinds of training tips and such that we want to be bringing you here at CBT News. So, again, thank you so much, Sean. Really appreciate it.
Always an honor, sir.
Thanks.